Here we go.
We've made up our minds. We're going to do new. Do something else. Do more. Do the impossible. Do better. Do good. Do big. Do small. Do it wrong. Do it again. Do it ourselves. Do it together. Do what no one else has done. Do what will become big. Do the same. Do different. Do everything. Do something. Do new.
Hello, and welcome to today's webinar from Norrköping University. Today we're going to focus on a new program in Science and Engineering of Soft Materials. My name is Pena Sjöberg, and I'm here today with two guests. And before we let the guests talk more, we will just give you a short outline of this webinar. The first part will be recorded. There we talk a bit more about the program, its content, and what you can do afterwards as a PhD student. And then the second part we dedicate to you, our attendees who are here with us today live. You have the opportunity to ask any questions you might want to know more about. So, very welcome. And welcome to you two as well.
Thank you.
Maybe you should introduce yourself. Start with you.
Yes, so my name is Peter Olsen, and I'm a team leader here at Norrköping, where I lead a group that focus a lot on chemistry. So we are developing new materials, sustainable materials, a lot based on forest-based resources. And I've also been part of the developing this program that we will talk about today.
Yeah, so that's why you're here.
Yeah.
And then I have another guest.
I'm Hannah Biesmans. I am a recently graduated PhD student from the Laboratory of Organic Electronics, and I work in the Organic Bioelectronics group. And my work is I try to develop new materials for new healthcare solutions for diseases like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, but on an electronic base.
And you moved here for your
I
master's?
am indeed from Belgium actually, but I came here first for my thesis work and my master's, and then I stuck around to do a PhD.
Lovely to hear. Okay. When we talk about science and engineering of soft materials, of course, for me, first of all, I'd like to know.
A lot of functions as well. So I would say soft materials is the key component in this new transition we need to make. We need to create new type of sustainable energy. We also need to find ways to create circular materials. And this is then in that frame, soft materials.
Okay, then I understand. So why should those who are attending this webinar, anyone interested in soft materials, why should they come to LIU and Campus Norrköping?
So I would say that LIU and especially Campus Norrköping is quite unique, that this is very, very active research area. So we are 160 researchers at the moment. So if you start studying here, you will not only get exposed to courses, but you will also be embedded in a very active research environment where the teachers will also be have state-of-the-art research in various of the disciplines.
Yeah, and I've also heard something about interdisciplinarity.
Yeah, which is of course a key component. So we are always confined by a background. If I'm a chemist, then of course I can solve chemistry-related problems. If I'm a physicist, then I'm hopefully good at solving physicist-related problems. But the final solution would be at the interfaces of these different disciplines. A key component here is, of course, we need to find ways to communicate with each other. And that I would say is one of the big good things about LUE, this research environment. And this is also a big inspiration for the program. We want to have different competences that look at the problems from different perspectives, and together we can solve the grand challenges of tomorrow. not only for research, but also for industry. We need to train the next generation in an interdisciplinary fashion.
And when you say industry, I guess that means that you also have long-term relationship with certain private companies.
Of
Could you
course.
mention some?
So of course, I work a lot with the forest. So of course, the whole Swedish forest industry. If you do more with plastics, then of course you have the polymer industry, and if you work more on more focused areas, then of course it's more high-tech industry as well. So everything depends on your angle, what research interests you have, but it's a lot of industry behind this.
But Loa also is a very good place for startups.
Yeah.
There's a lot of startups that come from Loa. I don't know what the exact number is at the moment, but it's ever growing, and there's a good environment as well for that. So it's also very fun to see. I've seen one of a big startup now, seen it start as like a few people in a research group, and I start to see it go through all the different phases to now a proper functioning startup. So,
and that of course is very inspiring as well. Then you see that this can be done, and then this person next to me is actually doing this. Then you get inspired to go for that leap as well.
Yeah, and also at Linköping University, you do have a great business support system. We have both in Linköping and Norrköping, there are Science Spark and a business incubator. So if you want to go that way during or after your PhD or after your master's, maybe even, then you have every opportunity to do it. So when we talk about the LOE, you have, I've heard, 6 different labs. Which one is it you are working in mainly?
So if we talk about labs, then we're talking about the lab rooms actually in this case. We have 3 main ones. So I am working mostly in the biolab, which is one of the biggest rooms. Then there's also a big clean room where we can work in an actual clean room. And we have a big chemistry lab, but then we also have a few other a bit smaller labs that are very dedicated to photonics, surface physics, plant labs as well. So it's, so we have the main labs are shared ones between all the different groups, which is extremely fun because also that means we share all the equipment. So if you work in a small lab, then you only have your own equipment, but then you have to like find collaborators for this big tool, or you need to go to a core facility. Because we share all the equipment, we can share the load as well. If some groups buys this really fancy, expensive new tool, everybody can use it. And you don't even have access to the tools, but also to the expertise, because we all work together. So if you're like, oh, I want to try this new machine-like thing, and there's usually always somebody who knows really well how to use it and can help you immediately, which makes the time very short for you to like get and try some new things and stuff. So that's extremely interesting.
Is that something also that you might do during your master thesis or during your master's, so you get even then acquainted with the equipment?
So the vision is when you do your master, you will be embedded within a specific research group, and then you will be part in the group as every other member.
Yeah, we truly aim indeed. So in the beginning, you will do stuff together, but then it's like try, and I think that's what we usually try to make them into an independent research.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the aim of the program?
So the high-flying aim is of course to attract and train the best future scientists and the best future researchers for industry. This is and have a real impact. Save the world is of course always the aim, but small steps.
Small steps. Lovely to hear. And you're continuing on that path. Yeah. So where are you heading? You graduated.
I graduated recently. Sticking around now for a little bit longer to finish up some stuff, and then I will probably move to the UK to do a postdoc in Cambridge University to in a similar field, but also slightly different, to explore some new things.
Oh, lovely to hear. Lovely to hear. Yeah, because I know that not all PhD students or those who graduate here can stay on at LIU as researchers. So it is a come and go.
Yeah.
Which also makes it fun though.
Yeah.
A lot of new influx of new ideas and stuff. Because otherwise you have a tendency to go a bit stationary with what you know. And if you have new people coming in, new fresh ideas, like, oh, we did it like this, and that also keeps it fresh, I think.
Yeah, but also you don't become not too comfortable.
Yeah.
If
there's
so this is, you need to be challenged with a different perspective. This is how you grow and also understand there's a lot of things I don't know. and that is a key component for progress.
And now I thought we'd go into a bit more about the program and its structure. So I have a colleague back office who will show us the curriculum for the 2 years. So then I'll leave it for you, Peter, to delve into the first year a bit more.
Yeah, so as we discussed before, so this is a very multidisciplinary soft material science. It requires a lot of different competences to address all the challenges. So the vision with this program is that in the beginning we have a quite wide funnel. So we have courses that align. So even if you're a physicist, then you study some chemistry. If you're a chemist, you study some physics. So and then we try to build a curriculum so we can start talking the same language. So we have courses so we can together, so we can start to talk the same language, and that will be in the autumn. Whereas in the spring we will switch a little bit and start focusing on more classical soft material science topics such as polymer science. Also focus a lot on sustainability, where soft materials is a key component. So I would say this is in essence the first year simplified version.
Yeah. And if we go on to the second year, there are several options, if I've understood you all right. Then they focus on the thesis work.
Yeah. So in year 2, we have you can choose freely. So either you do 1 year master thesis project, or you do half a year master thesis project, or half a year or 3/4 of a year master thesis project, and then take additional courses around that. But the vision is that you should target 1 year master program or master project. And as I show here below in this slide as well, so this is the actual research environment where this master program will be embedded in. And we have various of different topics. So mine group, for example, is the one in the right corner. It's the green polymer chemistry group. So we do a lot of chemistry, but it's spanning the whole spectrum from bioelectronics, modeling, photonics. So it's very interdisciplinary. So you will find your way. Where do I want to do research? Hopefully you have learned that during year 1, and then you will approach appropriate group leader for your thesis.
And then also, I guess, if I have a particular company I'd like to work in, afterwards, you can chat with one of your professors, say, okay, this is where I'd like to go, here's where I'd like to go. What should I do?
Chat with your professor. They will most probably have the context in this, if this industry aligns with the research topic, and then can build a project either together with you, with the group, or just in the industry by itself.
And you, where do you have your heart?
For me, it's the organic bioelectronics. So the second from the top, that also, because that brain is the one that I made. So the picture is one directly from my thesis. Because that is exactly what I've been doing. So I am fascinated. I'm a molecular biologist by training, to go for the multidisciplinarity, because I am a molecular biologist. I work with chemists, I work with physicists, I work with electronic engineers, all together so we can create better materials for electronic therapies, electrotherapies for treatment of certain diseases, for example. So that is where my heart belongs, seeing how the body responds to certain materials, how the materials respond to the body. That interface is extremely fascinating.
I totally understand. So when you think about the students you want to have here in August, what would you like to have?
So of course, one of the most important things is communications. So the student needs to be good in English, not only in writing and reading, but especially talking. And obviously a motivated student. So the student doesn't necessarily need to have the perfect background, but a will to learn, a will to push boundaries, a will to challenge convention, I would say, in research. That would be the ideal student. And of course, if it's a happy person, that is also good.
Yeah. Then you'll have the opportunity to stay on, maybe as a PhD student.
Yeah, also I think willing to be uncomfortable, because you will be pushed into topics that you're not as comfortable in, because
Exactly.
like you say, you've
Yeah.
been trained in one topic,
Yeah.
you will be pushed into another, you'll have to catch up a bit.
Yeah.
And embrace.
And just embrace the uncomfortableness.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, whatever. And just try to see it as an extra added feature. Because it can be a bit daunting in the beginning, but it is, if you just embrace it, it's a real opportunity. It's very, very fascinating.
Yeah.
And I guess there are a lot of group works as well, so that the groups, those being strong in chemistry are working with those being strong in physics, even on master level, so that they learn from each other.
Yeah, of course. And then we yearly we start talking more and more the similar language. We understand different viewpoints, and what is important for a chemist is for sure not equally important for a physicist. So, but together we can achieve great things.
Yeah, and now we're going more into the week. Of course, I understand every week is different.
Yeah.
You won't have classes the same time, the same day during the year, but a typical week, what might it be?
So that of course will depend on when in the programs. In the beginning there will be more lectures. The vision is to have a more embedded, more smaller groups, more discussion based learning. But of course some topics you just need to learn. Hard studying. This is of course critical, but also there will be courses where you can have more reflections. So we will have later on this, for example, a course in materials for sustainable development, and it will be more deep thinking, reflecting, discussion-based teaching. If we go into the year number 2, if you only focus on the master, then of course you will have your project. You will run, if it will be in my unit, then it will be of course chemical reactions and trying to decipher if things happen in that way. If you select another group, of course, then the week looks very different.
Yeah. May I ask, if during the thesis, do I do it alone or can I work in pairs?
You can do it in pairs. Will be a possibility as well.
Yeah, and when it comes to the challenges being working in this environment, maybe you have something to add, Hannah?
Yeah, it is that's also why I emphasize be okay with being uncomfortable, because there is a lot of stuff, because we work so interdisciplinary, there is always stuff that you're not gonna be comfortable with, and just that I think was in the beginning for me super daunting, because there was so much coming at you all at once. But people also know that, because we're used to that. We're used to working with people with different disciplines. So just be open, try to learn it as much as possible, and pinpoint the points where you are struggling maybe, and try to look deeper into that. And then it will become fun at one point, but it's to get over that first step. Once you start to get to know the principles, it's actually really fun to start putting them together. For me, at least in the beginning, I think that was the biggest thing of oh, all these people are so smart and they know so much. They do, but only in their topic. Trust that you know your topic as well, because they think probably the other way around. So yeah, I do think that is very fun, but in the beginning, very daunting aspects.
And the first step to deeper knowledge is, of course, confusion. This is how it starts, and then you go to a level with deeper knowledge, and then you're confused again. And then this
it goes in steps. We started talking about the student. We said good English, and not only to read and write, but also for example, for the lab safety you mentioned to me earlier.
Yeah, certainly. Because if you want to work as an independent researcher in the lab, we come from, I don't know how many different nationalities. I think we've counted. I think we're over 20 different nationalities. Of course, we cannot all speak in our, so everybody, there's one language, that's English. And you really need to be able to communicate in English, reading, writing, talking, listening, because otherwise this can create safety issues in the lab, and that is dangerous.
No, I was also thinking about the. No, I lost track. outside that, we do have the probability of doing, no, totally lost track. Restart. Yeah. So when it comes to the student, how many do you see, preferably in the perfect world, in the classroom in August?
I would say 20 people would be 20 highly motivated, communicative persons. That would be very good.
Very good. Okay, that's nice to hear. So I think now we are about to approach the end of this part, which is being recorded. It will be put on our streaming media in a few days, and then you can come back to it if you wish. And thank you for attending this part. And thank you, of course. Now we will go into the Q&A section. And my colleague Luke will be here to guide us. And feel free.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. And we received already some questions from the audience. So I'm going to read out the questions. I just want to also highlight for people that are watching the recording, when you do that through our platform, you can also write your questions still there. So even if you're watching a recording, and we can send the questions through to the staff of Linköping University, as we of course cannot answer them live if you're watching the recording. But for the people that are here, let's go over to some questions. First of all, a question from Denise, if I say that right, said, can chemistry graduate apply to this master?
Yes.
That's a very clear yes.
Yes. You have to have a major in chemistry.
Yeah, this is the
short answer.
the
And
short
the same
That's the short
applies
answer.
for physics. I think you also have to have some creds in quantum physics.
Yeah, but apply, and then we will. Yeah.
Look into your documents.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Next question from Umar. What is the presumed job market for this field of soft materials? So types of jobs.
Maybe you should start.
Yeah,
You know,
so
the
I would say
company's a
that
bit better.
depends, of course, of interest. Say that you study this program, you find an interest in forest-based resources, you do a master related to that, then that is the job market that will open. If you more go into devices, that is the job market. So soft materials is in so many different areas.
But I do think like also there is like a very broad, very clear path towards academia if you want to.
Yeah.
But also there is in industry, there's R&D and stuff. That is one main thing. So R&D either in industry or academia, but also for a lot of places, they just want a PhD in a STEM related topic. So like in policies or in whatever kind of government places or stuff, they also usually like people with this kind of background in master's or PhD just in science for that as well.
Yeah, for patent offices.
Patent
as well.
offices,
So
patent lawyers are also very interesting part.
So it's
It's actually pretty broad still. What do you want to do?
Great, good to hear. Yeah, I see the thumbs up coming on, so good. And we have a next question. Well, a question that I think a couple of people asked, and I saw before, people want to know about the available scholarships for international students. Actually, I also saw, I was not sure if that's presented, and somebody asked about the tuition fees. So maybe we can take both questions.
Yeah, when it comes to scholarship, I would recommend those of you who pay tuition fee to visit the scholarship page on the LAU website. There are a few scholarships, very, very few, and they are based on academic merits. So you have to have top grades from wherever you are. And you should also be aware that you're actually compared with all of the applicants. So even though you might be a top student in your classroom, you're compared with all applicants from all over the world. And when it comes to the tuition fee, the cost is 332,000 Swedish kronor for 2 years, and it's divided in 4 installments. So you pay beforehand one semester at a time. So this year, the notification of selection result will be sent out March 26th. And the deadline for payment is May 16th. So if you are a fee-paying student, start thinking about your financial situation already now, because we are aware that it takes time. And even if your banking system has a bank holiday around the 15th, it is a sharp deadline, just so you are aware.
Okay, thank you. That's taking care of that question. And we go to some other questions. In the meantime, by the way, what you saw flying in on the screen, that is the link to the scholarships, just to make that clear for everyone. So there you can click on it directly and you'll be directed to the website of Linköping University. Good. Question from Sahil. Can a mechanical engineer graduate apply?
I think you
Yeah. So I will apply, and then we will look more into detail. But it should be possible, depending on what courses that you have studied beforehand. Because we want to have as a wide funnel as possible for people to be able to enter the program.
Good. Okay, thank you. So Lisa was wondering that, so she doesn't have a bachelor degree, but has been working in practicing accounting for 10 years and does have work experience, but I'm not sure if it's the relevant working experience, but without a bachelor degree, I think it will be tough.
Yeah, it would be impossible to be true.
To apply. Okay, so hope that is clarifying that. Let's see if we have another question. Well, I saw a question in the chat asking about the academic focus. Can you explain a bit more about that? Can you say something about that?
Academic focus, maybe the person could develop a bit more what they mean. For the first year, if you look at the curriculum, the first year is mandatory, so it's the same for everybody, more or less. And then linked to the thesis and how long your thesis is. Of course, then you link it to the focus you have, where you see yourself working afterwards, and link the thesis to that. So in case you want to continue in academia, then with a preference, you do your thesis within the research group. If you have a company you really like to work with, then you might pitch an idea with them. And I know that all the large companies and even the startups these days, they do have master theses on their website usually, so that you can have a chat with them. And if you have your own idea, pitch it to the managing director or the CTO, for example.
Okay. So I did get Malik was asking that question about the focus and said, what choices do we have in the second year?
Okay.
Is that something you can say a bit more about?
So the choices would be the different possible research groups, but of course we cannot have one group that takes 15 or 20 master students, obviously. But communicate early with the research group you're interested in, or if you're interested in more industrial relevant, then of course seek connections in that sphere. I hope I don't know if it was clear, but
yeah, so maybe the difficult, like if we go a little bit closer, like what are those topics? We have a lot of different groups. Some work with optics, so they work with lasers and like how OLEDs and stuff, that kind of thing. We have even also theory and modeling, if you like more theoretical physics. So they do a lot of modeling. I do organic bioelectronics, but also e-plants and the soft electronics. We work more healthcare based, or like the e-plants work actually with electronic plants. That's an option. There's a lot of chemistry groups where you know a lot more, where a lot of different organic, real organic chemistry based on different methods. You can do, what are we missing? The surface physics group and organic nanoelectronics are more working on a fundamental level. So they look at how charges work throughout doping, and I'm not super comfortable in the thing, but they work very fundamental. Did I have them all then? Yeah.
I would say, in essence, check
So-
the web page
Yeah.
where all the groups are presented. And if there's some topic you feel, oh my God, this is super, super interesting, then of course this is
Yeah, but so there's a very broad range.
a
I
broad
think.
range, very multidisciplinary. And we all know each other
Yeah.
as well.
Great. Thank you. So a question from Benjamin was, how many innovation researchers does your institute have?
I don't even know what that is. An innovation.
No, you might be asking for patents, etc. I don't think we have an overview of that. I don't think anybody knows. You might know your research group and what has been patented and come out from that. But otherwise, I'm sorry, we don't know that by heart. If you're really interested, send us an email and we'll get back to you.
Okay. No problem. Thank you. And the next question we had was about housing. So Malik was wondering, do you help with accommodation?
Yes. In Norrköping, you actually have a really, really good housing situation. There is a housing guarantee. So those of you who are admitted to this program, which is located in Norrköping, you contact Studentbo and you have a housing guarantee. So it's actually really, really simple compared to other university cities in Sweden where it is a hustle every year.
Thank you. And yes, thumbs up for that as well. Good to hear. Actually, was a follow-up question from Malik. Is it possible to live also with a wife and a kid?
Yes, you can. Well, of course, the first step is to be admitted. And then if you have to apply for a residence permit, you can bring your wife and children if you wish. However, you should be aware that the Swedish Migration Agency, they then will require extra funding for your wife and for each child per month. And you apply for a residence permit for either 13 or 24 months. And of course, EU citizens, you can bring your family members to Sweden without doubt.
Okay. Thank you. And let's see if we had another question. Yes, there was one more I saw. Benjamin was asking, can I also work while I study?
Yes, you are allowed to work. Up to today, it's not been limited in the number of hours you are allowed to work. However, it is a governmental proposition right now that the number of work hours you're allowed to do per week or per month will be limited. So I would strongly suggest that you kind of look into your financial situation a bit extra, because this will be limited for August 2026. That's quite sure.
And of course, it's better to have full focus on the master program rather than having additional working.
Yeah. Okay. I am going to put up this link also to the website. I just wanted to make sure we have that as well. So where you can find more information. So it's coming up right now on the screen. So if you click on that link, that should open up and get to the application. I think, well, the general site from Norrköping University about the program, and also where you can apply, which I think links through to the Swedish application system, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And yeah, so that's to leave you to make sure you get your questions answered if you have still any. We have time still for some questions. I'm just trying to see if we got one more. Yes, we do. We just got one in. Dukna is asking, can I find a PhD program in a multidisciplinary position like material synthesis?
That's definitely for you.
Yeah.
I can answer in a general sense. It might be difficult to say at what time there will be such a position because funding is required. As a PhD student in Sweden, you are paid, you receive a salary, and that means that those who will employ you, the university, they have to have funding for you for at least 5 years. So we don't know always long time ahead whether there will be a position available or not at a specific time. Do you want to add something?
And obviously the PhD positions are always in competition.
Yeah.
So one can never promise beforehand. If you work hard, get good grades, and show a good interest in the topic, then of course you increase the probability. But nothing can be promised beforehand.
But also certainly if you choose for like a year, like it's a good topic. There's a lot of stuff going on, not just here, but also in different universities in Sweden, outside of the world. And if you choose for the year-long master thesis that does, like the thesis project, gives you a great competitive advantage.
For sure.
Because it's not very often that you can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you can show like, hey, I have done independent research. Maybe if you're lucky, there's like even a publication that came out of that, then that gives you an advantage.
Then you have a gold star.
Yeah,
in the
that
search
will
for a
give you,
PhD. And this
yes.
is me that hire a lot of postdocs and PhD students. This is what I look for. To see that, okay, what techniques have they learned? How much lab work? Do they have any publications beforehand? So this is very important aspects in order to actually get a PhD position.
Yeah, because I mean, I was one of the lucky ones that started my master's, and I had good timing that there was a position open, and they liked working with me, and I got to stay on. It's not a guarantee, never, but otherwise you build up a good network, and you are prepared for an academic career.
And then once you get the PhD position in such a start, then you go in running. You know everything. You have all the training. You know the systems. It's a very, very good start.
Thanks.
Good. In the meantime, we got some more questions. So I see through the chat that someone was asking about the background of aviation management. Could you be able to apply with that background?
No, I don't think we could say for sure. So my best advice is if you're interested, apply. Read more, look at the videos and read more about the research groups, and think about your ranking, because in Sweden you can only be admitted to one program. So if you're admitted to your first choice, number 2, 3, and 4 are automatically deleted. They are more or less your reserve places. So it is actually the admissions department that take the final decision, and that's why they need to see your transcript with all of your courses.
Okay. And another background was wondering, Gassi, maybe we're getting into specifics, but for each one, but there's a background in a bachelor degree in electrical and electronic engineering. Is that possible?
It's like
could be, but I think
No, I think the same answer applies here. Apply and think about your ranking if you're considering maybe several study programs on master level in Sweden. Think about your ranking. That's also linked to whether you can apply for a scholarship or not, for example. So do your research, so to say. Read about the program, check the curriculum, specifically look at all of the entry requirements. Is there a probability that you fulfill them or not?
Yeah, and so do check out the link that I sent. You can find it now also under apps at the right bottom, and there you see the link to the program website. So then you can, as mentioned, research it a bit more and make sure that this is the program you look for, and if you can apply. And I have been opening up some polling questions as well. So first of all, thanks everyone already for their answers. Just to get a bit more feedback and when you were looking to apply, if you're interested. So thank you for giving that information. And if you haven't done so, please let us know. Also, if you're watching the recording, by the way, you're all included and all can take part in this. And we did, I'd open up a question just now, what kind of information are you still looking for? And we got the results for that in as well. And the main answer was cost of living, what people still would like to know a bit more about. So
Yes.
maybe you can
Yeah.
go into the
The requirement from the Swedish Migration Agency is about 1,100 euros or US dollars per month. And some people think, oh no, I don't need that much. I will find ways. I will find housing that is not that expensive. But the truth is, it is less than what is required from the Swedish students. And due to inflation and other circumstances, the cost has risen. So don't think that you could go below that sum per month. And that is also the sum that's required by the Migration Agency for then 13 months. So that is what you need to show in order to get your residence permit for studies, for example. And the main part there is, of course, housing.
Okay. Hope that answered that question. And yeah, so there's also been a question about the PhD. So I don't know if we can answer that, but there was Adukna was asking about the PhD program for multidisciplinary positions, but also about possible positions at the university, I understand, for PhDs. Is there something you can say about this?
Maybe I can start and you add on. As a PhD, you are employed by the university full-time. Usually 20% of your time is devoted to administrative tasks, such as correcting exams, participating in labs, correcting things, doing lectures, etc. And you have a salary, and it is what do you call it? It's a staircase. So when you start, you have a certain salary, and in Sweden, after 2 years, you take a partial degree, and then you have a salary increase. And at the end of your PhD, you have another one. So it's automatic when it comes to the salary increases. Do you want to add something?
No, I think it was...
Yeah, also because I think if they ask for an individual position, because I know in some countries, like for example, I know in Belgium, that there's a lot of like personal funding for PhDs and stuff.
Yeah.
That's not really a thing. You're always, it has to go through university. So it's not,
No.
I know in Belgium, for example, a lot of PhDs have to write their own grant and stuff, but that is not something that is done. If that was the case, you wanted to go with that position, just want to say like it's all through university.
And usually kind of like in the US where you can come with your own money. That's not the case here either. So you apply, it's an official job, you are employed by the university, you have the social security that comes with it and everything.
Yeah, so the position is announced beforehand, and then you apply into that position.
Because that was another way to interpret that question a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. I don't see any further questions at this stage, so I think then everything has been taken care of. And well, you have the links as well, as mentioned. There are actually different links in the links section under apps. So I've been putting some more information there. Also the link directly to apply if you're interested. And yeah, and also the program page, of course, if you want to read more about it and check out the details. And having said that, I think then slowly we can wrap up the session. And yeah, from my side, first of all, thanks everyone that was able to join from the different countries. So we had a lot of different countries actually joining in. So great to see that. And hopefully some of you will be able to end up in Linköping maybe next year. Or Norrköping, I should probably say, to be correct. But thank you. And maybe last words over to you. And thank you for your time, of course, for all three of you. And yeah, to maybe a last word to wrap up the session.
Okay, thank you very much, Luke, for your participation as well. Yeah, I just wanted to point out that this program has a really, really good program homepage. You have videos where you can see the lab environment. You have several PhD students who talk about their experience working here as PhD students, and There are a lot of videos. You can, of course, follow us already now on social media, on Instagram, for example. There is an international student blog where you can meet students from maybe your country or from other countries. But the experience of coming to Sweden, being a master's student, they are shared with many students every year. So thank you, Peter and Hannah. Lovely to have had you here with us today. And of course, we have to see you here in August. Take care till then. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.